That was amazing, and I really I didn't even know a lot of the privacy kind of changes going on until that conversation. So I hope you learned something as well, and we can move towards I think an industry of more transparency is going to be really good for us. All right, with that said, we're going to move right into our next presentation by Katya. Katya, are you here? Hello. Hey, you're muted. But of course, didn't this happen in our?
I am. You know what? Technology is not my superpower. I think that I was stressed out more today about the presentation and like clicking the right thing. So I'm already going to ask for forgiveness from everybody because it is definitely not my superpower. I do have other good qualities.
You're fine. You're great, and it's great to have you here. And congratulations to Grin on a giant round raise. Is this 26 million in total for Series A? Is that what it is?
You know what? It's something around there. I think it might be actually a little bit more because we did open it back up again. But you can visit our website. We've got all of the details on there as well too. But it's 100% an exciting time to be a part of like a growing industry, a growing company. So much that is based out of Sacramento too.
Yes, my hometown actually. So very near and dear to me. Absolutely. I love what Grin is doing. The feature set has changed. Before we get into your presentation, just what's if you can sneak peek it for me, what's the roadmap look like? What's Grin's tackling? Give me the past, present, future.
Sneak peek.
Yeah, from Shopify.
I'm gonna keep it real high. We're making it even better than it is now, right? Like our tool is one that is really built to minimize the busy work of managing an influencer marketing program. And that goes from discovery to influencer payment and everything in between that. We're really trying to build it so it's effective for both every marketer who's on the platform, as well as every creator or influencer or ambassador who is on the platform. So we're honing in on that kind of stuff. There's some stuff in the pipeline that you should be watching out. Follow us on social, and then you can get some more sneak peeks on that.
Is Grin a very social media brand? Are you on the TikToks? Is Grin on the TikToks?
On the TikToks. We are developing our TikToks. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and what did I miss? LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat? Facebook, Twitter. No, not Snapchat. Not Snapchat.
Just skip Snapchat. Go straight to TikTok.
Exactly. We're working on definitely a TikTok plan for sure. A lot of like company culture, looking in behind the curtains of Grin and the people that make up such an awesome platform as well too.
Yeah, so we're excited. I love the company and the culture and what you guys are building. It really is quite powerful, and it sounds like you're breathing kind of the mantra of influencer marketing. Also, you mentioned making it a stronger platform for influencers, and I know that has always been a tough balance between helping brands and helping influencers. Sometimes one side is kind of taking too much from the other, and it's gone both ways for sure. I think in the influencer marketing space. So helping both kind of secure their futures and making sure they're both kind of profitable together is absolutely huge.
Absolutely. Well, the key is you can't do one without the other, right? And everybody has just different pain points. So ensuring that we're covering both ends is incredibly important.
Yeah, I can only imagine the product development meetings where one person's advocating for the influencer kind of feature, somebody else is advocating for the brand feature, and there's little battles going on in the back end. Fun
Absolutely. Battles. Very fun battles. And what the thing is that influencer marketing, it's a business. People are influencers, and that's their job. And it's definitely a shift in thinking from what like the traditional, I guess, thought process is behind influencers. And I will dive into just kind of even like the semantics of it as well too in the presentation as well. But it's turning the Kardashian style influencers. And hopefully I don't get dinged for saying that, but like a more transactional approach to a more relationship approach, because it is a business. It's a partnership, right? You want people to represent your brands that truly love you. I mean, that's what resonates with people.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. All right. If you're ready, I'll add your slide deck here to the screen. And
Um,
this is a good starting point for the
ex-
presentation. I'll let you take it away.
Excellent. And again, everybody bear with me because I am not great at the technology. So if there are some hiccups, excuse me. I am so excited to be chatting with everybody today about social commerce, more specifically some strategies for e-commerce brands using social commerce and leveraging influencer marketing to execute that. Now, during our time together today, I'm going to aim to provide you guys some just high-level top strategies to implement social commerce for your online brand, as well as how to repurpose that influencer content to execute those social commerce strategies, and also kind of provide you some actionable tips and insights along the way, along the time that we have together. Now, there's no time like the present. Let's get started. Right, there we go. It's working, guys. It's working, guys. This is good. Okay, I always really like to start off with anything to do with marketing in any presentation with making sure that we're leveling the playing field and all talking in the same language, right? The basics. What is social commerce? Now, that definition that I have in there is social commerce is selling products directly to consumers on social media. It absolutely is that. Now, ideally, that means that you keep the entire shopping experience from discovery to checkout on the social media platform, but it's not really a requirement to fall into the social commerce category. The way that I like to view it is not shoppable ads, my apologies. The way I like to view it is social media plus e-commerce equals social commerce. And basically that includes anything like shoppable ads. It includes whitelisting and paid ads, UGC, testimonials, and so on. It's taking the power of social media to help increase both your brand awareness and your sales. Now, what platforms actually perform really well when it comes to social commerce, right? Here I've got just kind of high level top 3 platforms. You've got Instagram, you've got Facebook, and believe it or not, you've got Pinterest as well too. Now, while these are the top performing channels for social commerce, they're definitely not the only ones. As we all know, TikTok is adding more features. Sometimes it feels like daily, but definitely monthly, they're adding new features, which is going to create more opportunities for both just kind of creators and brands alike. So when we're talking today, we're looking at social commerce in the way that I just defined it, and we're kind of very focused more on the Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest view. Now, what's important to keep in mind, regardless of whatever platform you choose, is really knowing who your audience is. I'm going to go to the next slide, because like any solid marketer, right? Who doesn't like a really good checklist, right? When it comes to social commerce, what are the things that I should be thinking about? The first one, I sort of started touching on it, is identify your audience. Now, this is in, marketing jargon, your buyer persona, right? Who uses your product? What are the attributes and the characteristics that describe who they are? Like, what do they like? What do they not like? What do they shop for? Where do they shop? What platform are they on? Really, honestly, what keeps them up at night? This is what makes up your buyer persona. Now, why is this so valuable? It's so incredibly valuable because it helps inform not only the platform you choose, but also it helps you identify the most relevant content that you should be creating to share with them. It's about making that human connection. So you have to really have a good understanding of who they are. The next is choose your platform. Now you've got your buyer. You've got your buyer persona, you know your audience, you know who it is that you're aiming for. Now choose your platform. I really like to emphasize to everybody, you cannot be all things to all people. You should not be on 7 different platforms. I think you have to resist the urge to be on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, Snapchat, all of these things. I highly recommend to start with one. Refine your strategy and then level it up when the time is appropriate. You're going to see successes a lot faster, and then you'll be able to improve whatever it is that you're doing regardless of that social platform. The next thing is leverage social proof. Now, what is social proof? Social proof, and I'm going to read the actual definition because it's a psychology definition. It is a psychological phenomenon where people conform to the actions of others under the assumption that the actions are reflective of the correct behavior. That's a mouthful. Basically, it's trying to find certainty or validation in others that we trust, right? In commerce, it means people who have bought and they were delighted. And with that, they were willing to share that delight with others. That's what you're looking for when we're talking about leveraging social proof. That's where influencer marketing really comes in. And it's a pronged approach when it comes with influencer marketing. More ahead. The next on our list is create a customer service plan. Social commerce is made to be an easy, frictionless experience for the end user. They're already scrolling. You may as well keep them within that platform, correct? But what if there's a problem? For those of you guys who are listening, how many of you have purchased something or have gone to click for something, but you have more questions? It's not just about having someone available 24/7. It's about giving kind of all of the information, right? And that can be in a really great product description within the product. That's a type of customer service as well. But it can also be developing things like a true size of things, right? Like, so let's say there's a clothing brand and, they have small, medium, large. What is small, medium, and large for me? Everybody has varying sizes. So what's my true size? It's thinking outside of the box and taking a look at what can I do from a customer service standpoint to make a really amazing experience. The next on our checklist is to remove potential friction points. Now, friction points are those things where it's like, if it takes you, how many clicks does it take you to get to that information that you're looking for? Take a look at it. We can obviously not always do like the one-to-one, right? Like I purchased it, I bought it now. There are always those options available, but they may not be. So take a look at what that purchase path is. Is there something that you can remove in that purchase path, right? Are there too many pop-ups? Are there not enough pop-ups to continue to add value? And lastly, I would say address security and privacy concerns. And that can look anything like a statement of how information is being used, it's verification of payment, it's trust signals when it comes to security and privacy. All right. Click in. All right, this is my favorite part here. The value of influencers, creators, and ambassadors for social selling. Let's get some semantics out of the way. I think that I alluded to Derek earlier that I would be diving into influencers. Now, I host a podcast, and the question that I always really like to ask people is, how do you define influencers, right? An influencer is anybody that has influence over a community. And I always like to say that the community can be your dinner table. I have a lot of influence at my dinner table, not maybe on Instagram, but definitely at my dinner table, right? Now, influencers, creators, and ambassadors, are they the same thing? It depends. That's kind of the phrase that should be a tattooed response to most marketing questions. But that being said, it is kind of true. All ambassadors are influencers, not all influencers are ambassadors. And everybody uses a different language when it comes to it. I've got 2 words for you to just really sum up the evolution of where influencer marketing is going. And that is just really creator content, right? They are creators. They are your design team. They are also a bit of your marketing team. I think the key is they're a part of your team. Right, we've got another quick checklist to overview with you. Okay, so why creators? Why? Creators have built-in social proof. They have that influence over their community, and they have definitely like that know-how and the style of how to be able to actually capture their audience's attention. It's also cost-effective way to scale your strategy, right? as someone who manages both content and creative, it can be very labor intensive and very pricey. What you get is like a 3-for-1 in an influencer. Sorry, not in an influencer, in a creator. You get design and distribution in one, and you get increased visibility for your brand because they're posting it on their channel. So you have now extended your reach. But on top of that, there are really the stats. Now, let's talk influencers promoting products, or creators promoting products. We recently performed a survey, and the survey report, which will be made available for you guys afterwards, is called The Power of Influencer Marketing in Numbers. And one of the things we examined was really the buyer behaviors, right? So 82% of people who were surveyed were inclined to buy products promoted by influencers. In addition to that, 95% of those surveyed have already purchased something from both Instagram or Facebook. And then 35% of people were likely to buy influencer promoted products online. That's staggering. So if you want to make an impact, using creators can help your program. When influencer marketing is done right, which means that you've taken the time to truly identify your audience and the right influencer. Influencer marketing with people to talk is essentially people talking to people. It's very cost effective and you get a return on investment. I always like to say you're always going to get brand awareness, you're always going to get revenue, and you're always going to get content. How much you get each one of these really depends on the levers you pull and the knobs you twist. Some other really interesting stats here. Now, why is the social media activities really important? What we really dive into when it comes to these social media activities is, all right, people are online. We already know it. We've all seen those stats, right? But what does that mean to me? There's an audience that is there for you to tap into already, that are ready to shop. This stat shows that 47% of people who are on Pinterest are on there to find and shop for specific products. They are there for the taking, which is really, really impactful. I'm getting through the clicks, guys. I'm getting through the clicks. With so many touch points in the customer journey between discovery and purchase, every opportunity gets you there one step closer, with one of the top activities being sharing content. That's a bit of like the dark posts, right? Like the TikToks that you send someone later on, right? Or like the Instagram posts that you share and save in a DM. That's what is happening. And it's happening from one to one and then one to many as well. You're doubling your eyes. Now, if you guess that Carla the creator is your ideal person for something like this versus Bob the brand, you've hit the nail on the head when it comes to that. Now let's get down to some strategies in general of what you can use. The rest of the slides of what it is that I have just kind of dives into those strategies for social commerce. The first one is social proof and shoppable content. Pairing the lifestyle images with your product kind of shows what it looks like in the wild. And this is also where you can leverage influencers as well too. They can create those lifestyle products if you're gifting them or you're sending them the products to be able to be featured. This can be done on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. And you can even leverage these on Google shoppable ads too, but that's a different webinar for a different day. The next one, and I apologize, I am very tongue-tied. The next one that we have are whitelisting. So whitelisting is essentially posting content on a creator's feed. You gain permission to be able to use your business manager account and then actually create your audience and share out that ad underneath the creator's name. It's very much so like these examples right here. I think that we've all seen them. They say sponsored underneath them. The benefits to this is that you can create custom audiences and share very authentic content that an influencer has created or creator has created. And then you typically have or see lowered cost per click, and it is essentially much more authentic. There are a few more hoops that you have to jump through in order to get that access. But when you start off a creator relationship, you're looking at it in the long term. So people should really be like invested in those relationships. And when you are invested in those relationships, it's easier to ask those creators for permission to be able to post whitelisted ads. The next one that we have, we're all very familiar with. It's the swipe up. The key for this one is using or leveraging affiliate links for it. The example that I'm showing right here just shows like the actual product. That's one way to promote using swipe ups. The other way is to use affiliate links with influencers and creators. Now, the swipe up has a couple of options. You have your view your shop, which is the Instagram or Facebook shop that is in there, right? You create a shop within the social media platform, but you can also direct people to a very specific landing page too. So you have a lot of different options when it comes to that. You can boost the traffic to your website if you use that link to a landing page or your website, but you can also increase the traffic to your social media platform. When you leverage swipe ups with influencers and you use affiliate links to track success, it's a phenomenal return on investment. A couple of things to note about this: it's only available for brands and creators with a 10K plus follower count or verified accounts. The next thing we have here for social commerce is Instagram shopping. This is the one that I feel like most people are really familiar with and very comfortable with, like engaging with it. When it comes to Instagram shopping, we have a few options. I've kind of like put them all on there for you to see, but don't worry, we'll dive into it. First of all, we have the Instagram shops. It is basically uploading your products into an Instagram shop and allowing people to be able to shop from like that specific store. There are a couple of options when it comes to that. You have an add to cart, which is really great. The add to cart is more seamless because it has someone who can discover and check out without leaving the app. In addition to that, you can also have a view on website. That is adding an additional friction point, but it may be what your overarching goal is. You want to drive more website traffic so they identify more things. That's perfect. And also, the great thing about that is it avoids the link in bio to drive someone to your website. But that also leads me to the next thing, which is a shoppable board. Now, if you do go down the link in bio route, there is a program called lincoln.bio. Now, what this does is it makes your feed into a board that people can shop from. I know that I've seen it a ton when it comes to Food Network or really anything recipe related. It allows you to click on that image and get all of the information that you need, whether it's shopping or driving them to a very specific page on the website. In addition to that, you have Facebook. Facebook also has something very similar as well too. So when it comes to shopping, you can do Instagram shopping, and you can also do Facebook shopping for social commerce. All right. Now we have Going Live. These two versions of Going Live are both on Facebook and they are on Instagram. Both options, what it allows you to do is once you've uploaded your products into a specific shop, it allows you to tag your products. So if you're leveraging creators or you're doing it yourself, what happens is when you are featuring one of the products, the tag will appear at the bottom of the live version. This is a really great way to create an experiential marketing experience for between the brand and the customer. And that really increases just like the experience in general when it comes to social commerce, and then really engaging with your brand. All right. Next one is a Pinterest one. We've got UGC plus testimonials. The reason that I selected this one is because I think that it's really clever and kind of just a little bit of this underrated. What Dollar Shave Club has done is they've taken their user-generated content and they've posted it on their board on Pinterest. Now, let me back it up a bit. UGC stands for user-generated content. I've been talking about influencer-generated content. The difference between both of those is user-generated content is anybody taking a picture, posting and tagging you on that, right, as a brand. You do not necessarily have permission to repost that, and you always want to be able to give back credit. Influencer generated content is content where you do have explicit permission because you've entered in or engaged in a contract with someone. So you want to make sure that you do have permission to be able to post any images. Quotes are usually very easy to just kind of repost in general because it goes to a third party. But Dollar Shave Club definitely has taken it to a completely different level. They've given it all to you in one spot. So you have anywhere from a review, a testimonial, an unboxing, and one pin board. All right. And then we're going to end with some quick tips. The first one is be social. This is how you can be successful in social commerce and also in influencer and creator marketing. Now, by being social, I know it's kind of in the name, but seriously, engage with those who are liking, sharing, and commenting. Social media connections, while online, is about people. Everyone just wants to be heard, seen, and acknowledged. So engage with your community. Let's put a face behind the brand's name. Remove the friction is another quick tip. Don't make them work for it. They're already interested. You just have to remove as many barriers to purchase as you can along the way. That includes having good descriptions, having great images, autofill options, addressing FAQs in the forefront. Partner with influencers. That's leveraging social proof. You're going to get amazing images and create compelling content with people that you can then repurpose across your entire marketing strategy, anywhere from social media to your website to email marketing efforts. And the last one I would say is be selective of what you offer. What I mean by that is you do not want to put your entire store on Instagram Shop. You don't want to put your entire store on Facebook Shop. You want to be really selective of what the items you do. Typically, lower price items sell a little bit better on social. So don't upload all of your inventory. Be selective, but also be strategic. Pick items that are interesting, priced right, and a great introduction to your brand, and that's going to keep them coming back for more. If you have a good product and you treat them right and you create an experience, they will come back. And that is what I have for you guys today.
Awesome, Katya. Thank you so much. I
am my screen. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still, we had a few conversations about selling directly from Facebook and Instagram, right? And Facebook is now charging, I guess, a 5% fee for transactions that happen directly on their platform. And so in our panel earlier with Shopify, Chris was saying, it's not a threat to think that Facebook will replace Shopify from a payment or process or all that. But I'm curious what your concerns are as far as selling on channel versus on site. Like, what do you see brands doing, especially as it relates to the influencer sending that traffic over from their page to the brand? Should they send it to the Instagram page shop or to the site? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I'm incredibly open-minded when it comes to when it comes to where you're going to send them. I think that what you need to do is you need to test and you need to be able to experiment. I don't think it's a threat driving them to just an Instagram page. Everybody shops a little bit different. I think of it almost like learning styles, right? Everybody learns a little bit different. So give the masses all of the opportunities. That way you maximize it. If there is someone that likes to shop online, right, because they have to like go to either their laptop, like they have to be able to see it and review it, give them that option. But then there are the people who like to shop on social, right? I am a habitual clicker on ads and think that I want to buy everything that is served for me. I'm like a D2C brand's dream, but I don't think that there really is a threat of just kind of experimenting and testing everything out. And when it comes to the fees, I think that we kind of live in this fee society. It would be expected that there would be some sort of percentage, and you have to weigh that with what you have in your budget and what you want to be able to experiment with.
That's interesting. I wonder if we're gonna see people charging slightly different fees on their like Instagram shop versus their Shopify store or something along those lines. That would be interesting to see.
I would think that they wouldn't for the time being, and then they'd have to really be able to identify, like, is this Instagram shop doing what I want it to do?
Mm-hmm.
I also think that it speaks to, kind of that last quick tip that I said is, being selective about what it is that you offer. Maybe how you leverage both website and Instagram or Facebook is being very selective about what you're putting on Instagram and Facebook, right? This is like the introduction to your brand to drive them back to your website. They will eventually go to your website. They always do. No one exclusively shops on Instagram to be able to purchase something, but that's a great way to introduce people to your brand to continue to drive them back. Just get them in the door.
This is interesting. You're making me think a little bit about loyalty and how you could buy your first purchase could be on channel, but then the loyalty program and getting set up with that, is how you get back to the site and re-engage. That's very interesting. So there's certainly something to unpack there, and I think a lot of things to test. So really quick, give us the pitch for Grin, and when should a merchant be bringing Grin into their tool stack?
Well, I gave a little bit of the pitch beforehand, but I'm ready. I'm ready now. Okay. So Grin is an influencer marketing software that is really meant to minimize the busy work of managing an influencer marketing program, but also other marketing programs as well too. It goes from discovery, which means that you can find the right influencers for you in a variety of ways, not just search. There's lots to take a look at in there, all the way to like making the payment, getting the content, downloading the content, and getting the rights, and everything in between. It really makes life so much easier when it comes to it. As to when it's the right time to get Grin,
be honest. I'm going to push back here.
I know. I felt it. I was feeling it. I'm a big proponent for, you're going to see the immediate value if you already have an influencer program. If you already have an influencer program, you're going to need a tool in order to scale it. If you do not plan on doing influencer marketing for a very long time, then it's probably not worth the investment for you. I think that if you have a dedicated person to be able to run and manage a program, that's going to be what the key is. If you have a dedicated person, this is what you're going to want to do, then you can start it from like building up 0 to 100, right? But the key is you have to have someone that is going to manage it. While our tool is amazing, it only gets you to third pace. It doesn't get you all the way home.
I like it, and I agree. I think, and I'll even put another challenge here too. I think you have to prove the channel has legs before investing in the tool. That means you have to reach out to an influencer on your own, 1, 5, 10 maybe influencers. You start to build that catalog, and then you go, man, I wish I had a tool to manage all this, right? And that's when Grin comes into play. And possibly you're like, well, maybe the director of marketing, it's becoming like a third of their job, and it's making good money. And that's when you're able to say, I'm going to hire an influencer marketing manager. I'm going to buy Grin, and I'm going to put those two together. Absolutely. And then that's out of my hair, wearing one less hat as the director of marketing for, fast growing D2C brand or something like that. Yes. And then you've got that solution done. That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So in my days at BoxyCharm, we had 3 influencer marketing managers full time, and I know that they're on the Grin system now. I wanted to use Grin back in the day, and I think they chose another one, but then you got them, they switched over, which I'm sure
We got them
is
back.
working very well for them. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of working with influencers, and it was a proven channel that not only for us as just giving our D2C experience, and it's a beauty box subscription, right? So it's not really the first sale we care about, it's retention. We found influencer drives great retention. So it was giving us the right type of customer, and it wasn't just that the one post from an influencer made its money back. It was that we were able to use that content in other ways, like you described. And that's where, like with ads or with other creative strategies or tying it all together in a campaign, that's where it started to really become cost effective for us. So it wasn't just a one-off, $500 to an influencer and hope I get $1,000 in sales or whatever, 2,000 in sales. It was really, it was about bridging a cohesive strategy and playing the retention game. And I'd say most of the money made investing in influencer didn't pay off for 3 or 4 months for us, but it totally paid off. So
it always pays off in the long run. The key is really knowing who your audience is in order to help you find that right influencer, and developing a relationship, a long-term relationship, because it is a business. They are part of your team. That's why we lean into just the creators, because they are part of your creative team, and that's the way that you should definitely treat them. And it's tough to manage an influencer program in general in a spreadsheet. I mean, I'm sure everybody who's listening has conditional formatting and data validation on a spreadsheet, but it doesn't always give you like, did I update that already? Or when was the last time I talked to that person? Or who else do I need to reach out to? Did they get their product? Did they post, right? These are all the questions that happen along the way of managing a program, and Grin centralizes all of the answers to those questions in one place so that you can work effectively and efficiently.
I love it. Awesome. All right. One final question for you. Should it be, I pay you $2,000, you send traffic? Should it be, I give you an affiliate link and you make a commission? Should it be some mix thereof, or even like which one do you see as the most successful for both the merchant and the influencer? And I'm sure it depends, but like,
I know,
you touched on it a little bit before, but I'm just curious, like, I'm sure some people are trying to do something like, convince an influencer to just use an affiliate link and not pay them any money. And some influencers are probably like totally against that on the flip side. And so like, where do you see this battle ending up?
So I think that there's a reframing that needs to happen in regards to just kind of like the ideal influencer workflow, like in the marketing workflow, right? You have to introduce someone to your brand. You want someone that's going to represent your brand authentically, because that's essentially what you're asking for. So it starts off honestly with product gifting. Like that's,
I like that a lot.
It starts with product gifting. And from there, you identify the winners of like, the influencers that you've engaged with that. What did they get you? Did they get you revenue? Did they get you content? Did they get you brand awareness? And you build campaigns around that, and you continue to level them up, right? Like that next level is like really great. I love what you've done. Let's get you on an affiliate program. And, you're going to start off with 5% until you hit this mark. Then when you hit that mark, you go to 10%, right? And then 12%. It is continuing to level people up so they continue to be invested, and also let them in. Like they're part of your team, and they're going to be able to provide you insight on like what could potentially resonate with their audience, what could potentially make the product better. Like that's truly how you see a lot of success with influencer programs, or at least what we see a lot of our customers do, is really building out a tiered system when it comes to it. So it's not either discount codes or affiliate links or like just product gifting. There's lots of success with that.
Partnership.
Yes, it is definitely a partnership for sure.
That's incredible. I really like that idea of using the influencers for product development and customer development, probably on both sides. You're able to get unique feedback from them if you can bring them in close. So this is a quality relationship component instead of just spraying and praying $500 to 500 influencers or something like that.
Absolutely. And I think that also I get always a lot of questions of like, well, the influencer sent me their rate card. But then like that follow-up question is, well, did you ask for something more?
Yeah,
like
for a relationship.
It's a relationship. There is definitely room for negotiation. And oftentimes an influencer Oftentimes, not all the time, right? So oftentimes an influencer is going to send you the rate card and you're going to like, your mind will be low and you're like, I didn't get the budget for something like that. But truly it's because they're thinking of it as transactional, right? Okay, if it's just this one post, this is how much you're going to pay, right? It's more like a cameo version of it. Like, I am going to get one thing out of it. This is what I'm going to pay for it. But if you start investing and having the conversation of like, hey, this is where we start, everybody. I want to give this to you. If you love this product, I'd love for you to share. I'd like to hear your insights on it. And then we can get you in a program and just continue to level that up. And know that this is a 6-month partnership. It's not a one-off. So what are the give and takes? It's a negotiation with anybody who would send you a rate card in that sense, but also in developing your program.
Okay, I lied. One final idea that's coming to mind as you're talking about this is, I wonder if some brands will start to build their product in a way where it's easy to make that product like co-branded, if that makes sense. So it's easy to like, I don't know, it's a shampoo and it's like, all right, well, it's this influencer shampoo and that one's, and they do like 40 brand partnerships with influencers and make their own kind of brand, a unique mix. And I know there's a company that does like special mixing shampoo, so maybe this is already a thing, but in other categories and stuff too.
Think about Jordans, right?
Yeah.
Like that, collaborations at like the highest level, that happens all of the time, right? So I think that there's definitely opportunities for something like that to really expand for your program as well too. But again, you know what you need for that? A really great relationship. And
a great tool. Okay, last plug for Grin.
Yes, and a great tool to manage them. Get Grin.
Perfect, Katya. Thank you so much. This is really entertaining and educational for me. We're going to move right into our next session. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much.